Best Public Affairs Program. And the star goes to Open for Business Net 25.
It is a signal to the world that we are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is Cesar Vallejos bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook at YouTube. Siguraduhin na rin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Ating alamin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ng mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Give peace a chance. As our cultures advance, many interests are expected to clash. Mostly it's driven by the desire to dominate that causes these conflicts. And so it is laudable when individuals or institutions make it their life's mission to propagate peace through their actions. In this episode, let's celebrate the Peace Laureates recognized by the Sino Asia International Peace Awards.
Ang mga pinakamainit na isyu, pangyayaring nakaapekto sa lipunan, mga kaganapan sa politika, tatalakayin, lilinawin. Dito sa Saganang Mamamayan kasama si Jen Sobardiaga.
Ano ang nangyari sa 12 bilyong pisong alokasyon para i-modernize ang sugar industry sa Pilipinas?
Nelson Lubao.
Pagka gasolina, pagka diesel, kung kailan nila gustong itaas, itinataas.
Oo.
Paano naman itong pamasahe?
At mga espesyal na co-host, Congressman Rodante Marcoleta.
Kapag hindi natin define kung ano talagang ibig sabihin ng karapatang pantao, mawawala kayo, pati yung education sector ninyo.
Totoo.
Anong i-educate mo kung hindi mo nalalaman?
Senador Francis Tolentino.
Lahat naman po tayo ay may adhikain na mamuhay sa isang mapayapa, tahimik na lipunan.
Ayan, opo.
Lahat ay nagkakasundo-sundo.
At Benny Antiport.
Yung kakulangan ng tubig, yung tagaraw. And of course, kasunod na dyan is yun na pagbabaha na yan ay masusolusyonan na rin dahil dito magkakaroon na ng mga tinatawag na irrigation system.
Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 10 hanggang alas 11 ng umag. Saganang Mamamayan.
Laban na! Kung hanap mo ay mga kwentuhang nakaka-good vibes, mga payong pampa-healthy at pampa-beauty, at mga storyang nakaka-inspire, dito, bawalang nega. Let's spread love and awesome! Samahan niyo ako dito lang sa Net25 tuwing alas 11 ng...
Influence is as sure as the morning sun. It all started when traders from mainland China conducted business in our country way before our colonial history. Currently, we are surrounded by important enterprises that were built by Chinese immigrants who started from scratch and became successful for generations to come. While only about less than 2% of our population have Chinese parents and 1 out of 4 of Filipinos have Chinese ancestry, they are very much part of our daily lives. And so strengthening the relationship between Chinese and Filipinos is an important facet. More so when both are working side by side, be it in business or philanthropic work, they make a difference. The Sino Asia International Peace Award Foundation has even leveled that up by recognizing the peace efforts of distinguished individuals in the field of medicine, humanitarian work, public service, business, journalism and broadcasting, education, and arts. We speak to some of these outstanding individuals with significant contributions from their respective fields. as well as the organizers of this noble initiative to promote peace. Open for Business is back, and we are honored to have with us Sir Billy Chan, the chairman of the board of the Sino Philippine Asia International Peace Foundation. How are you, Sir Billy?
Thank you, sir. I'm well.
Off cam, we were talking about how you travel from one country to another, and now you're back here in the Philippines, and you miss the Philippines because of the, after the COVID-19, after the pandemic, a lot of are traveling already. Can you give us more of the background between, these countries where you're into?
Yeah, it's just like my second home. I love the Philippines. I've been coming back and forth many times before the COVID pandemic. And of course, the last 3 years has caused a lot of damages, not just financially, and also interrupt our Peace Award event and all that. So once we heard about the restriction has been lifted, and we've got direct flight coming out from Hong Kong and Macau. So right away, I brought members here. I think we should organize a meeting here, and maybe perhaps we run a award ceremony like we used to. So it's sort of, I would say, back to normal. I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Sir Billy, it's very interesting that with the geopolitical events that's happening around the world, people are affected by, the adverse impact of these geopolitical events. And here is your foundation, your organization coming up with the Peace Awards, which is something that's very admirable. What's the background of these Peace Awards, and when did you start doing this?
Yeah, I always have this little voice in my little heart when I was a teenager. Peace is always what I yearn for. Ever since, actually in 1969, I was watching the telly, the black and white telly. That was my birthday. And I got a candle on my cake, but the background wasn't that pleasing. It was wars in the Middle East, lightning news, and there's a lot of images that a 9-year-old child shouldn't be watching. So I'll blow my candle. I had a wish. I wished for peace, and this little voice still in me today. It will be for the rest of my life. So I started the foundation in 2018 here with many local directors and also a list of overseas directors. We'd like to become a peace award giving body based in the Philippines, but the awards will go to not just Filipinos, also well-to-do, brilliant laureates from around the world, and put them all here under one roof, and to promote and also restore some sort of faith in hope and peace, of course, in this part of the world.
Sir Billy, that's very touching in the sense that at a very young age, you see what's happening during that era. And of course, that has somehow resonated in your life, My question now is, what are the different challenges, in different disciplines that you think peace should be there? I know, for example, in Open for Business, we always talk with CEOs, thought leaders, and the key component or the key factor that they wanted to have would be business continuity. So if there's problems in peace and order, that disrupts their business.
Correct.
In your judgment in giving out peace awards, what are the challenges and how do you view them? What are the parameters for one awardee, to have so that they will be given a peace award?
Well, you look at what's happening around the world today, and if you asked me a question 3 years ago, would there be any war prospect in Europe? I would right away say the opportunity of having wars in Europe is huge, zero. But look at what's happening now. The last 12 months, the terrible images that you see on TV news, that sort of give us a wake-up call. And we cannot take everything for granted anymore. When you touch about, geopolitical component and what's happening around the world, this part of the world in Asia, in ASEAN, or largely, we view this as war prospect is almost zero, almost zero. Things that can be erupted can be avoided. So by doing like Peace Award, putting good laureates together, putting good scientists, laureates like from the academics, in arts, in all forms of specialities in their field, all these brilliant minds, great minds together, we are promoting some sort of goodwill for the region. And I think it's desperately needed for this particular region, especially Philippines, ASEAN countries, and Southeast Asia.
With many individuals, with many organizations, there are interests also, the causes of different individuals and groups. What is that objective of this foundation? Are there projects also that you do? Because, of course, with the creation of these laureates, this is a collaboration of brilliant minds with different key, powerful influences. So, are you doing this also, to advance specific causes and projects, and to create impacts in different disciplines?
Yes, I have been involved in medical education back in Australia, and it just so happened about 10 years ago, I got an invitation to invite me back to this region, to Macau actually, to start a Faculty of Health Sciences. And in turn, we built the first medical school in Macau. And through that, we have also included the Philippines. We formed some sort of a Asia Pacific Forum. It's yearly event. Attached to our medical conferences and all that. So through that, I met a lot of brilliant surgeons here, medical practitioners, nurses. We have a lot of these events happening. So I always attach some sort of a charity component to it. Like before COVID, we have donated a lot of those ultrasound machines to the south, to Davao. I have also been involved in donating a lot of those laparoscopic, very advanced equipment to the south. And not just that, because we have these medical forums, we always brought experts with us. So these experts would teach the local surgeons how to operate with these advancements, with these machines and stuff like that. We're doing something good, not just having a meeting, have a couple of drinks, and you go home, bye-bye. We're actually doing a lot of those live workshops and live demonstrations and donation and all that tie into it. So I found a bunch of brilliant doctors and friends, became good friends.
And Sir Billy, that's just one of the areas. You just spoke of medicine, but here with the different categories and with the different laureates, they are coming from different backgrounds. We see them from education, environmental responsibility, performing arts. So what's the expected output of these awards, and what's the role of the foundation and the Peace Awards in the scheme of things, in how you influence maybe governments in the private sector also to support your causes?
We're a very small foundation in comparison to Nobel and those big Peace Award giving body in Norway or Sweden. And most of these giving bodies are in the United States or Europe. And this is the first, sort of one of the first of this kind happening in the Philippines. Yeah, there are many, of course, the Magsaysay Award and all that stuff. But I think we are doing it internationally, and also selecting the best from all around the world. Like this time we came here, we have the founding principal of the Royal Birmingham Conservatory. We had a lady, she's from the UK, living in Stratford. There is a Shakespearean theatre named under her. I have an Iranian diva that she has been singing the language of Farsi for 5 decades, and she sold, I think, 2 million copies or something. So that resonates not just to the local Iranians, also the Iranian overseas, knowing what's happening in Iran today. So all these sort of, it gives out a good message. We're promoting peace under one roof, like here in the Philippines.
Before I let you go, Sir Billy, what is your vision with the foundation? We know, as mentioned earlier, there's a lot of issues that surround, what's happening in different countries. What is the vision that you want to achieve? We know that we all talk about having world peace, but with your initiative, with the many projects that you're launching, how will people see that vision growing into reality?
Yeah, often people ask me about the motto of the foundation. As cliche as it is, the motto is very simple: make the world a better place for the future generations. And I think this is something that we can do, and we can do it right away. In half an hour, we're going to be launching this ceremony here in Manila. Another thing is, I would like to see this foundation to be more sustainable and be part of the UN Charter, perhaps UNESCO or other UN NGO acknowledged, recognized peace award-giving body. That's something that I yearn for, yeah.
As mentioned with Sir Billy Chan earlier during the conversation, the laureates come from the different disciplines. What is notable in this section now is that you also come from the medicine sector. What do you think is the role of peace in having healthy world? What's your view on the relationship between health and peace?
As you mentioned, the pandemic, although we are coming to near its end, as a medical worker, I've seen the worst of times. And I'm sure many people have experienced, we've all have lost ones, loved ones. When I was in some of the hospitals, I've seen extreme situations where the medical healthcare providers and nurses, they have working 12 hours, 16-hour shift, helping patients, and just exhausted. These are the people who, in times of great demand, they raise up and they sacrificing themselves without any asking for any return. These are our silent heroes in our community, and there are many, not only in the healthcare workers, all over different disciplines, even in arts and music, in commerce and banking, in all sorts of areas. There are people who silently will contribute to make sure that the world still runs as usual. Life goes on, and people are being helped, and people are still continue to be inspired by words, by the music, by whatever that they do best. So people are not hiding away during the pandemic, and these are people that we would like to recognize for what they have done.
Coming from your background as a doctor from Macau, what are the best practices of Macau, that you think should be also emulated by the Philippines or other countries?
First of all, I've been to Philippines many times. Many years I've known a lot of surgeons in Philippines. They're very good friends, very excellent clinicians. We always work together and try to discover new ways to help our patients. It's not enough just to see what's out there, what's available. There are many unmet medical needs. I mean, this pandemic shows us infective disease is a big challenge. Same with cancer. Same with neurodegenerative disease. So these are the big areas. There's a lot of unmet medical needs and a lot of innovations, a lot of drug discoveries. These are not necessary in the realms of big pharmaceutical companies. There are a lot of experts in universities and researchers, and they need to work with the clinicians to complete clinical trials, and we need actually the support from governments, from the private sectors, from the industry, to put them all together, to work together to make things happen. You can see this in this pandemic. In such a short time, you are able to discover what is the agent causing the pandemic and finding the solution, the vaccines, created with that. And this takes a lot of people behind the scene working together to do that. So I think it's, I would say to the healthcare workers and medical doctors, don't just think what is available there and how you can help, but find solutions. If you're able to find solutions, bridge people together, and then I'm sure then you'll find that whatever it is for infection, for COVID, or even for cancer, for something, we'll find solutions.
In your view, what is wrong with the Philippine health or healthcare system, and what are your proposed solutions on these challenges?
I'm not in the best to say this because, but I have the honor to visit many hospitals in the Philippines. I've seen some very high-tech, very excellent hospitals. I've also seen many government-sponsored, and they are serving the majority of the Philippine people. Still, many of the infrastructures are lacking in some ways. So that puts a strain on the service.
So when you say infrastructure, are these maybe
even
buildings or new equipment?
Well, I think there's just too limited resources to serve the large number of patients there. So I think basically maybe more hospitals are needed to serve the greater populations. But I think the will of the healthcare providers are there. They are very hardworking and committed.
What do you think is the role of these peace awards in the advancement of medicine? How will the laureates really make use of these peace awards to maintain peace?
First of all, the purpose of this award is to bring attention to people who have contributed greatly to the community, and we are recognizing their achievements. What is in addition is that we actually bring people from different disciplines together. And by doing so, we create new energy, new opportunities, and new discoveries, the things that normally we don't come to get across, especially across different countries. And we find there are expertise and needs and things that we can complement each other. And by doing so, actually, we create new prospects and new opportunities are created. So I feel very optimistic and very happy in the things that we're doing right now for the future. I would just like to say that providing a better solutions for people around us, bringing so-called peace and to the community, to your fellow mankind. This is not a uniqueness to any one individual or any one country. It's responsible for everyone, every citizen on earth. And it's something that's from a child, they understand. But as we grow older, we are more focused into our own businesses, our own development, that sometimes we forget of this greater need. And I think it's just a reminder that, yes, there are more need out there, more people that we should pay attention to. And I hope that this is the message we want to bring across. Thank
Amazing. You. Thank you, Dr. Fong. Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Laban na! Kung hanap kwentuhang nakaka-good vibes. Mga payong pampa-healthy at pampa-beauty. At mga storyang nakaka-inspire. Dito, bawal ang nega. Let's spread love and abasang! Samahan niyo ako dito lang sa Net25 tuwing alas 11 ng umaga.
Panalo tayo pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's stand together sa Net25.
Hindi pwede! Siguradong may pinaplano siya. Hindi mag-aalok ang babaeng yun dahil mabait siyang tao. May kapalito. May gusto siya na hindi natin alam.
Aba, pumayag si Chan makatrabaho si Aileen sa isang project? Second chance na ba ni Aileen sa puso ni Emre?
Ikaw lang naman ang mahal ko. Ikaw lang at wala nang iba. At sana, tayo ulit, tulad ng dati.
Sundan sa Daydreamer. Monday to Friday, 7:30 p.m. Dito lang sa Net25.
Panalo tayo pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's stand together sa Net25.
Open for Business is back, and I am privileged today. This is something very historical because this is my very first interview with a U.S. Senator, and together with me is the Honorable Emmanuel Davy Jones, Senator of Georgia, Atlanta, United States of America. How are you, Senator?
I'm doing well.
Off-cam, you were telling that this is not your first time here in the Philippines, and you've been coming here for more than a decade already.
That's correct. And the first time I came was some project that we did over in Mindanao with Global Peace Festival Foundation, and it's been my passion, certainly to reach to those that are underserved.
How do you describe the Philippines as a country, and now that you are, one of the laureates of the Peace Awards, where and what are the challenges that you have seen as far as the Philippines is concerned?
Well, certainly the Philippines is a beautiful, beautiful country. I've enjoyed the time that I've had an opportunity to travel around to the various places and the various islands. But more importantly, I've enjoyed meeting the people. It's a people that's rich in culture. When you look at the history of this great country, you can see how it's been part of various different dynasties around the world. And certainly as an American, we are excited for the opportunity that our country has played in the development and this great country. And I don't like talking about conflicts because we are peacemakers. But you cannot have a conversation about peace without understanding the conflicts that have occurred as well.
As you mentioned, diplomatic relationship between the Philippines and the United States is very long, and there's a lot of highlights in that relationship up to now. We see it flourishing. How do you think that relationship could still be stronger? Are there projects that you see?
Well, first, let me just say that I serve on the State Economic and Development Committee for our great state. And I've traveled around the world with our committee and really politicians on both sides of the aisle, of Republicans and Democrats. This past year, we were in UK and we were also in Germany. And it's important for those of us in Georgia that we reach out to other countries so that we can build a much stronger relationship. The commodities and trade is really important and critical to us. And we want that to be a bilateral exchange, not one way and not one-sided. We have a lot of, we'd love to see more businesses from the Philippines come to Georgia and set up shop. And certainly we'd like to see more of our businesses from our great state set up shop here as well. Considering the culture and the people that are here, Certainly, I think this is a tremendous opportunities for both of us, both the United States and the Philippines, to build a much stronger relationship. Though that relationship has been strong historically, there's so much more that we can do to increase the opportunities bilaterally for this economic development for both countries.
Senator, it's admirable that you mentioned about these economic partnerships, because I think, even our president, goes to different countries and he's our #1 salesman, and he pitches to the different investors to invest here in the Philippines. My question now is, in terms of gaining more traction, in terms of really pushing for these pledges to be realized into actual economic activities, in terms of the implementation, do you see, some improvements that can be done to really push, these investments?
And I do. I see a lot of opportunity for improvement. One of the things that countries look for and businesses look for is certainly the economic and the education attainment of its citizens. I see that here. And certainly because of that education attainment, I think there's opportunities to incubate several businesses in this country, and businesses that have an opportunity to transfer technology, to transfer a lot of those opportunities that we've had in the United States over here as well. And not just transfer dollars, but that's important as well, because as you know, it takes a lot of capital to incubate any kind of business.
I hope this is not a political question, but there is somehow a shift in terms of world power, maybe. We see the Asian countries stronger and stronger, like China, for example, and of course with what's happening in the different parts of the world, there is some weakening of economies. So what's your take on that, Senator?
That's a very, very interesting question, and it's something that I've thought about for a very long time. And I don't think any of us geopolitically should be afraid of the strength of any one country over the other. I think it's more important to focus on those things that we have in common, those resources that we can share, those economic opportunities. And when you look at the global economy, there's a tremendous amount of investment that the United States has made in China and other parts of the world, and there's a tremendous amount of investment that those countries have made in the United States as well. And I don't want to take my eyes off of what's really important in those relationships. Any kind of business relationships wouldn't occur without people. And when you look at the Philippines, there's so much talent here. And certainly there's opportunities all over the globe. And historically, of course, Filipinos have always been willing to travel outside of the country in order to export some of their resources, primarily their talent as well. And I certainly hope that that continues, but at a much slower pace, because companies need to set up shop right here so that that talent can be retained.
You are recognized now as one of the laureates. How important and what's the significance of this award to you now? And how do you think can you tap this for bigger, better opportunities that can be taken advantage by both Filipinos and your constituents back in the U.S.?
As the chairman emeritus of the Sino Field Asia International Peace Prize, it's been my honor to work with certainly Sir Billy Chan and Dr. Falk in really creating this opportunity for laureates all around the world. And yes, I have been awarded a Peace Prize here in the Philippines. And that experience gained me a lot of traction in the United States and being able to work with other people within my respective communities. Our message here is very simple. Those laureates that we're bringing in from all over the world, we expect them to go out into their respective countries, their hamlets, their villages, so that they can continue to talk about peace and the importance of peace. All of our laureates have a particular skill set. And it doesn't matter if you're in education, if you're in music, or you're in medicine, whatever their specialty is, there's always an opportunity within their circle of influence to influence those that are in positions of power. And I certainly hope our laureates continue to do that all over the world.
Senator, if you can address the Filipino audience and the small businesses, because Open for Business also is a program that encourages small businesses, entrepreneurs to bounce back, from the pandemic. If you can address them, Senator.
Absolutely. First, let me say that I am a small business owner in the United States as well. By the way, and I'm an entrepreneur who started my company some 30 years ago. And because of that, it's allowed me to attend events like this and participate in events like this, and to be able to share those resources that I've acquired with other cultures. And I would hope that the Filipino people realize that it's just not enough to make money. I believe that the wealth that you attain creates an opportunity and a responsibility for you to go out and do more. As we say, each one, reach one, teach one. To me, that is the basis of those of us that have had an opportunity to grow businesses, where we can now reach out and we can now teach someone else some of the things that we've learned in our respective industries.
It's very interesting, Parvis, that the awards is giving it to a lot of nationalities in different areas all over the world. In your case, for example, I know that you are one of the big names as an architectural designer. You're into architectural design based in Los Angeles. So is this also the thrust of the foundation, wherein you recognize the contributions of citizens, whatever their nationality is, whatever their background is?
Exactly. We recognize whomever who are doing they have some impact for the humanities. No matter where they are from, we are proudly recognize them and appreciate their work by giving them and awarding them the Peace Prize Award for Sino International Foundation Award. People who create peace for everybody. If you have a beautiful setting house, you can live in it peacefully, even in your city or everywhere. So as soon as I see the project, either from the base ground or if the house is ready, I create the theme for them so they can live happily ever after in it. And so giving them a good harmony and beautiful setup of everything, color, picking everything, all the furnitures, even lighting, and creating a space planning. So that's why it makes them to live in that house very peacefully. They may even notice it, but I'm the one who's creating that lifestyle for them. So that's why they call me actually creator of luxurious life, and that's the name of my book too.
Wow, you create a luxurious life, and all over the world, people look for luxury. But in this age where, there's a lot of geopolitical events, I don't want to be political here, Parvis, but what's your take on the many events happening around the world, in terms of disruption, there are disruptions around the world? What is the role of this architectural design as far as the impact of what's happening in terms of peace? Are you also disrupted, or are you also changing architecture because of the events that's happening that impacts on the economy, on the raw materials, on the cost of materials?
Well, whomever they have money, they come to me. But speaking of politics and everything, I cannot be here and not talking about the movement of life, women, and freedom, which is happening in Iran right now, which was started with the death of Mahsa Amini. And the movement has been started, and we are following that, and hopefully we will be able to create peace and freedom for all Iranian, especially women in my country.
Wow, it sounded not political when Parvis was the one who's mentioning it, because he talks about fashion and architecture and design. Now, I noticed that these people, the laureates, come from different backgrounds, different countries, and different disciplines. So my question, Parviz, is how are these laureates coming from different disciplines contribute to peace, and how are you able to also tap the disciplines or expertise of these very influential people?
They nominate those people to our office, and then we have our own investigation to make sure that they are in a way helping people. No matter if they are journalists, they are singer, they are a politician, they are in physics, humanities, everything. As long as they help humanities, we recognize them and we gladly give them a peace award.
If you can also have a message to Filipinos, small businessmen, young entrepreneurs who also want to create that luxurious lifestyle and maybe architectural design that, at par with the world-class standards.
As long as they work hard and they know what they are doing and followed your path, don't quit, no matter how hard it is, then you will be very much successful in your life and everybody's around you. So good luck with all the Filipinos. I love you guys.
As a Filipino, we are really honored and proud to be one of the recipients of this award, especially on the Peace Award under the Sino Philippines Foundation. And we are quite proud because one of the proponents of peace all over the world is Dr. Jose Rizal, where we are a member as on the Knights of Rizal. So it's a symbiotic relationship of Dr. Rizal and the Peace Award Foundation, the Sino Philippines Award Foundation.
Isa rin po kayo sa itinuturing na isang mga matagumpay na negosyante dito sa Pilipinas. Ano po ang maipapayo niyo rin sa mga negosyante na yung iba po, lalo na nung pandemya, nagsara, nalugi? Kayo po, alam ko na patuloy din, marami din kayong mga pinagdaanan na pagsubok. Ano po ang maipapayo nyo sa mga maliliit na negosyante para mapatuloy nilang sa pangalan ng programa namin, Open for Business?
Well, as we 2020 and 2021, 2022, we have opened. So all Philippines is opened, and surprisingly, under the wag tayong mawalan ng pag-asa because a lot of our companies, especially on digitalization, 50% of our consumption has been recorded as the reason why our GDP was increasing. You asked the Filipinos to go out, so everyone went out. So to our businessmen, just stay together. Sabi nga ni Jose Rizal, ang isang maliit na walis tingting, you can break it, but not a bundle of midribs tied together. So we go on together, we stay together, and we will flourish and grow together in this beautiful island, the Philippines.
Do you think, sir, with the geopolitical events that's happening, with the Russia-Ukraine crisis, and I'm sure it would continue to impact on oil prices and other, of course, that would also have impact on inflation. Do you see some sort of an end of this?
Well, as you can see, in the whole world, countries are affected by the Ukraine-Russia. The effects of not only on the oil and the supply and demand were disturbed, but in the Philippines, November and December, we were 8% inflation. So the problem is, can we sustain the inflation and the effects of war in Ukraine and the oil disturbance in the prices? Higher, lower, higher, lower. But what we can say is that the Filipino are very resilient. We have done this before, and we never went down because of international or happening, but we were able to survive the financial crisis, Asian and world financial crisis. So I don't think we'll have a problem again, and we'll be Filipinos, especially our OFWs and BPO, we will succeed this coming year, the 2023. So the 4.5% projection for our GDP next year, I'm sure we will survive. We will go more than that.
Open for Business is also privileged to have with us one of the personalities who has a very prestigious political career. How are you, Sir Jerry Calderon?
Well, I'm now of course, the former mayor of Angono Rizal for 18 years. And now I finished my term, and luckily, my daughter now is the mayor and not the vice mayor of the town. But in continuing my services in a higher note, I was elected as the Supreme Commander of the Knights of Rizal International.
Your area, Angono Rizal, has a very rich history. And maybe I assume that is one of the reasons why you are, you have your office with this organization. Ano ang relationship ng mga pananaw ni Rizal sa kalayaan sa mga ginagawa ninyo ngayon?
Well, Angono, known as the art capital of the Philippines, from the scratch, Angono is fourth-class municipality in 1998. Then I became a mayor, and after 2 years, we transformed that into a first class with a 60 million income. Then after 18 years, 550 million. Now, before flooded town, Angono, traffic going to Taytay and going to Manila, it's 3 hours. Now, going to Taytay, it's only 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And going to Manila, it's an hour. Now, what we did is a lot of innovation, public-private partnership. And of course, we dredged our river through a public-private partnership. We invited the dredger, of course, in a free charge. Wala pong bayad. Ang bayad lupa. Then, after that, we worked with various national agencies, province, of course, with the province of Rizal. Very supportive po yung Governor Inares, yung Congressman David. So lahat ng infra namin ay nagawa. And Angono now is a #1 in infrastructure sa National Competitiveness Index. And 4 times SGLG. 300 lang po yung binigyan na award dito nakaraan. Yan po ay 2,000 local government. Angono po ay isa sa 300 with the province of Rizal. Now, ano relasyon niya dito sa Knights of Rizal? The Knights of Rizal was mandated by the Republic Act 646 signed by President Elpidio Quirino, mandating the Knights of Rizal to advocate Rizalism as the Filipino identity. And of course, the works and teachings. Rizal during his time in Dapitan, imagine 150 years ago, 125, bless his age. Na-transform niya po yung Dapitan into something productive. Angono is just like Dapitan to me. My Dapitan is Angono. So part of our advocacy is to invite all Filipino, whether you are a Knights of Rizal or not. The Republic Act 646 says we are mandated by law to propagate Rizalism as the Filipino identity. Hindi po siya relihiyon. Siya po ay isang patriotic organization. Iba po yung mga Rizalista. Pero one thing, the innovative approach of our national hero, ito po yung ina-adapt natin na hindi lang po kailangan ng pera. Kailangan natin ng public-private partnership in a very small amount of money. We develop volunteerism. And what the output of Angono is our showcase and sharing it to all members of the Knights of Rizal na kinakailangan we need to follow that works and teachings. And of course, as a Filipino, ipagmalaki natin dahil ito po yung international organization. We have a chapter, 3 chapter in America, in Europe, hanggang Brussels po yan, England, Asia, which is of course, Sir Billy Chan is our World Brothers Commander, the chairman of the Sino Phil Asia International. And the very reason why we are invited here, of course, to share all this innovative approach and recognize their best effort as what Jose Rizal did during his time.
Wow, impressive, Sir Jerry. What to you, sir, is the relevance of this Peace Award, especially with what's happening in our country, in our economy, and how do you think can this be maximized for our advancement?
Well, adapting that best practices, this award is done in their various field is just like Jose Rizal. We need to adapt this thing and do it in a manner we think we will adapt in our community. And that discipline of all these awardee, alam niyo po yung mga taong ito ay galing sa Regis Romero, of course, the former Deputy Premier of China, the Deputy Chairman of the Sino International Philippines. Imagine, worldwide, yung mga awardee rito, may kanya-kanya pong discipline yan. And yung kanyang mga ginawang programa, that innovative approach and best practices is for us, the universal language of understanding that mutual cooperation and respect must be properly observed based on that positive output of their innovative piece na kaya po sila binigyan ng award.
Wow, thank you so much. And we hope that Open for Business can also visit Angono Rizal and see for ourselves what's happening there and how...
With Mayor Jerry May Calderon.
Yes.
And of course, the able support of Governor Inares and Congressman Duavit.
On that note, Open for Business will be back. Stay with us.
Together, Sunday 25.
For Westlife's two-night concert in the Philippines, Manila's audience was acknowledged as the loudest. Boy band fans feel nostalgic while singing along at the concert. Presented by Will Bros Live, nostalgic vibes were felt on the second night of Westlife's concert in Manila. The whole venue was filled with cheers, which is why this is known as the loudest crowd of the boy band. Shane Fillon, Mark Feely, Kian Egan, and Nicky Byrne serenade fans who are not only popular with the 90s youth but also with other generations. Westlife performed the song Starlight, Uptown Girl, and When You're Looking Like That as their concert openers. The band performed a medley of ABBA songs, including The Dancing Queen. Westlife met with some of its fans at the concert who were brought onto the stage so they could take a selfie with the band. Giovanni, who is notably wearing the same as Westlife member Nicky Byrne, is one of them. Giovanni couldn't believe the interaction he had with Westlife on the second night of its concert. Giovanni says he has been a fan of the boy band for more than 20 years and has been to all of the Westlife concerts in the Philippines. He thanks Westlife for all of the opportunities they have given him. Westlife fans are expecting Westlife to return to the Philippines after the boy band indicated that they will be back soon. I am Jasmine Agustin for Open for Business.
Business is at the helm. IMF and OECD's 2023 forecast. While 2022 did not become the comeback year the world economy wanted, it became a nightmare. Instead, with the record inflation, the Russia-Ukraine war, and more damages caused by natural disasters. However, they say there's more gloom in 2023. In 2022, the world opened up even more, tourism and economy became more active because many countries eased COVID restrictions, but it did not boost economies. Complicated, isn't it? That's what macroeconomics professor Ruel Bitsema of the University of Amsterdam thinks so too. The Russian invasion of Ukraine in February changed the game for energy and food prices. Countries including the Philippines are now suffering from cost of living pressures because wages are not keeping up with inflation, challenging households with their spending. Pero naniniwala ang International Monetary Fund na lalago ng bahagya ang ekonomiya sa 2023 ng 2.7%, mas mababa ang pagtaya ng OECD sa 2.2%. Closer to home, the government's focus is hastening economic growth through the use of the President's first full-year spending plan. House Speaker Martin Romualdez said it is the most important tool in accomplishing the objectives of the President's agenda for prosperity and his 8-point socioeconomic development plan. Filipinos are hoping that the 2023 budget will be spent wisely and effectively to keep companies and enterprises open for business.
Laban na! Kung hanap mo ay mga kwentuhang nakaka-good vibes, mga payong pampa-healthy at pampa-beauty, at mga storyang nakaka-inspire, dito, bawal ang nega. Let's spread love and awesome! Samahan niyo ako dito lang sa Net25 tuwing alas 11 ng umaga.
Panalo tayo pag together, walang talo pag together. Let's get together sa Net25.
Mga ka-PSL, ako di ay sigap dagangon ng Davao Occidental Tigers. Para sa mainit action, sa hardcourt, tutok lang sa Pilipinas Super League. Ito ang liga ko.
Let's get together sa Net25.
Our businesses are affected by the conflicts in our environment. Take the Ukraine-Russia issue. It has tipped the scales of demand and supply for basic commodities, which made it difficult for some of our MSMEs to operate their enterprises. The call and action for peace is really something that we should think all about. In fact, we should be part of it by doing what we can to contribute to humanity's betterment. So we tip our hats to the men and women who are doing their best to excel in their fields to achieve peace. If we all do our part, utopia will be a reality. And with that, our quote of the week is, peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding. That's by Albert Einstein. Thank you to all our inspiring guests tonight, and congratulations once again to the laureates of the Sino Philippine Asia International Peace Awards. At maraming salamat sa isa na namang oras na pagsama ninyo sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business hanggang sa susunod na linggo. Samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines, sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you are informed and open for business. Ito po, si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.